Welcome to episode 3 of PokeFang Unpacked, your new favorite place to get news, updates, leaks, and rumors on the Pokemon TCG, including upcoming sets. So spoilers may be ahead. If you're not into that kind of thing, this is probably not the video for you, but let's get ahead and get right into it. More interesting stuff is happening with Shrouded Fable. It seems like we're getting new information every single day. And honestly, with it being in August, it seems like we might get so much information within the next few weeks that we might actually know the entire set before it even comes out. But if you're new here, my name is PokeFang and welcome to the Fang Gang. That's right, we're here with another episode of PokeFang Unpacked. Really appreciate it if you guys could help support the channel just by sharing it with a friend. Thank you in advance. But here we are, Shrouded Fable Part 3. We have some really exciting stuff, some new artworks to look at. Just so you guys know, Part 1 included the new set announcement, so there's some good information in there, along with the products pipeline in terms of all the sealed products that we're going to be seeing. Part 2 included a per pack price guide. I'm always looking to see which products have the lowest prices to share it with you guys in the Fang Gang so you can get the best deals on what you're looking for. It does include that price guide, and it also includes the best value products. So if you're interested in either of those, go back and watch parts 1 and 2 after this video. But today we are here to talk about 3 new illustration rares that have just dropped, 3 new full art trainers for Shrouded Fable that have just dropped. All 3 of the A specs have been revealed. All 6 of the double rares have been revealed. We do have some missing cards, and we're going to talk about those. I have some really interesting concepts to go over. And then at the very end of the video, we're going to talk about what's to expect from future sets. July 7th, we should be getting Night Wanderer, the Japanese set that Shrouded Fable is going to be based on. So 99.9% of the stuff that we hear about Night Wanderer is going to apply directly to Shrouded Fable. So what do we know about Night Wanderer so far that can give us as much information about Shrouded Fable as possible? We know that it's going to be over 95 cards, at least over 90. It's got 5 double rares, 1 Terraform, 3 A-Spec cards, 15 illustration rares, 10 ultra rares, 5 special illustration rares, and we don't know how many golds because we haven't seen any of those golds released yet, but we do know that the at least one of the illustration rares has been released, and that one is numbered at card number 90. Looking at a side-by-side comparison between Night Wanderer and Shrouded Fable, it looks like we're going to end up getting basically the entire set. So usually these expanded special sets that we get in Japanese will get applied to one of the mainline sets by merging a few different sets in Japanese into an English set. And it seems like for some reason, even though this one's not like a special set like Pokemon Go or Pokemon 151, this Night Wanderer set seems to be like a one-to-one of Shrouded Fable, at least so far, based on the number of cards that we've gotten and based on the number of cards expected to be in Shrouded Fable, and we're going to get into those specifics in just a few minutes. So far, we have already seen all 6 of the double rares from Night Wanderer released. We have the Kingdra EX, the Revavroom EX, the Okidogi EX, Monkeydoor EX, Pheasantipity EX, and Petrunt EX. That is exactly what we're expecting in Shrouded Fable, so I think it's safe to say that these are the exact cards we should be seeing in Shrouded Fable. We already see the 3 A-Spec cards that are going to be in Night Wanderer. I think it's safe to say these are the 3 A-Spec cards we're going to get in Shrouded Fable: the Dangerous Laser, Neutral Center, and Pokevital A, which removes 100 HP from one of your Pokemon, which is absolutely insane. Now we're going to get into some of the new artwork reveals, which I'm super excited about. You guys know I love to collect the artworks, is one of my favorite things. So we have a new Houndoom artwork, which looks super gothed out. You guys know that is my vibe. All black, murdered out. I love that you could see the shadows of the other Houndoom sort of like running together as a pack. The highlights hitting it on the top of the head and sort of like the fire streaks coming from the eyes. But yeah, I really love that one. It's even giving me a little bit of like Nightmare Before Christmas vibes in some ways. We have the Horsey illustration rare, which we saw in the last video, but this is also still a new release. It's a really adorable one. I don't think we're going to be seeing it in the Kingdra promo box. I think this is going to be something that we're able to pull in the set. There's something about the blue, the way that the blue just pops. It's absolutely beautiful. Ever since that Vaporeon VMAX special collection came out around Evolving Skies, it's never been the same for water Pokemon. Water Pokemon just look so good as illustration rares and special illustration rares. So this Horsey honestly looks really good. James Turner trio here of the Duskull, Dusclops, and Dusknoir. I know I talked a little bit about that in the last video, but I'm including all of the artworks as we reveal them, so we build up the entire set as we go and get more information. I already commented on these in the last video, but I do really love them. I love how simple they are. The art style reminds me of artwork that I've done in the past. And obviously the color palette of them just works perfectly for my vibe. My only hope is that when I put these in a binder, they end up in the same row together, because I cannot stand when evolutions have to get split up on separate rows. That like really triggers my OCD for some reason. Then we have the new Zorua, Fracture, and Beware, which we did comment in the last video. I do really love that Zorua artwork with the photography, shallow depth of field vibe. Been a big fan of that. I'm not seeing as many artworks in this set having that art style, which is a bit of a bummer. I hope we didn't move on from it too fast, because there's huge potential to do more artwork like that in the future. New Beware just popped up recently in the last like 24 hours of me recording this, and it looks absolutely epic. It's kind of giving me like kaiju vibes for some reason. It just looks like an enormous Beware. I know it's just like a regular sized one, but either we're really small or this thing is gigantic, because the way that it's towering over the point of view of the card holder with the sun sort of at his back is somehow like insanely intimidating, even though this is a Pokemon that I find absolutely adorable. All of the new illustration rares into the new unpacked format here, you guys can see that there's 15 illustration rares expected to be in this set, of which we have gotten 8 that you guys just saw. However, although the Houndoom does have the lowest set number of all of these cards, I actually think it's going to be the first art rare of all of the ones that are in this set, and I'll tell you why right now. So as you guys can see right here, of all of the cards that have been released so far, the highest numbered card that we have gotten outside of these secret rares is number 62. This is who this character is. His name is Xerosic. He's the head scientist of Lysander's labs from Pokemon X and Y. Is included in this set as a trainer at number 62 out of 64, which means that 65 should be our first illustration rare. And now that we have Houndoom only coming, and now we know that Houndoom's number is 66, so we are missing our first illustration rare. It has not been revealed just yet. So I think this is more likely to be what our layout looks like, starting with number 65 that has not been revealed, and then Houndoom 66 going all the way up to number 76 with the Beware. The remaining 15, that would leave us at number 79. So these are the cards that we are still missing to see from Night Wanderer that will eventually be in Shrouded Fable. This is the way that it makes the most sense to me numbers wise as of recording this. And now on to more freshly revealed cards. I'm super stoked about these brand new full art trainers right here. We have 3 new full art trainers featuring Colress, Janine, and Penny, but more specifically, the actual translations of these cards are going to be Colress's Tenacity, Janine's Secret Technique, and not Penny, but Cassiopeia. If you played through the storyline of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, then you know what that is about. If you're just getting back into Pokemon and you have no idea who Colress is, they throw back all the way to 2012 with Black 2 and White 2, Pokemon researcher who specializes in Steel-type Pokemon and is the second boss of Team Plasma. Janine's Secret Technique, which is a bit of a wordy card in my opinion. Use up to 2 of your Dark-type Pokemon. For each of those Pokemon, search your deck for a basic Dark-type energy card and attach it to that Pokemon. Then shuffle your deck. If you attach any energy to your active Pokemon in this way, that Pokemon is now poisoned. For those of you who don't remember Janine from Generation 2, you probably remember Koga from Generation 1. Koga is actually her father, who is the Fuchsia City gym leader. Later, he becomes part of the Elite Four, and then Janine takes over the gym as the new Fuchsia City gym leader. Every time I see the soul badge, I just think of PokeChloe because it's literally like part of her brand at this point. Seeing Cassiopeia for the first time and you're a little bit confused because you've seen Penny in the TCG before, but you're like, that's the same person. It's because it is the same person. If you played Scarlet and Violet storyline all the way through, I kind of love that they decided to name this card Cassiopeia because Penny and Cassiopeia are an alias. It's the same person. Penny is obviously an Eevee enthusiast because you can tell by the backpack, but also an expert hacker and was the mastermind behind the creation and the defeat of Team Star. I know when I first got back into collecting and there was all these different trainers on these cards and I didn't recognize any of them, it was pretty frustrating. So hopefully it helps you guys to get a little bit of a bio on all of these new cards as they're coming out. So if our 15 illustration rares left us off at 79 in the set, typically when these sets are numbered, they go from illustration rares directly into ultra rares, which means we would go from number 79 to number 80. Then we'd have 3 empty spaces of cards that haven't been revealed yet. And then of course, number 83, 84, and 85 of the cards we just looked at. And then the remaining 4 out of the 10 ultra rares that we're supposed to be getting in this set would leave us at number 89, which makes perfect sense because the next card that we get is the only special illustration rare that we have seen so far in terms of the ones that aren't actually going to be a Black Star promo, and that is the Pecharunt EX. This is the only special illustration rare that has been revealed so far as of recording this, and it is number 90 out of 64, which means we're looking at probably the 5 special illustration rares are going to be the remaining of the 95 that we see right here. So there's going to be number 90 at the Pecharunt. We don't know what these 4 are going to be. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on what the rest of these special illustration rares might end up being, but there's one thing that hasn't been revealed from Night Wanderer whatsoever that we are still expecting to see in both Night Wanderer and in Shrouded Fable, and that's going to be our gold cards. We are missing gold cards. We haven't seen any of them, and we can only assume, since they are typically the last numbered cards in the set, that they will go from 96 through to 100. So we should be expecting to see a total number of cards in Shrouded Fable of 100. We still don't know what these gold cards are going to be. These could all end up being item cards. These could all end up being Pokemon. Maybe it's the Loyal 3 and Pecharunt and 1 item card. We really don't know. It's too soon to tell. Obviously, I will be keeping you guys up to date as soon as we see some gold cards. But make sure to subscribe because I'm going to be keeping you guys up to date with weekly episodes, keeping track of the progress on everything we know about Shrouded Fable and future sets. But as far as the TCG sets that are based on part 1 of the Hidden Treasure of Area Zero DLC, these are the main featured Pokemon that are in the Teal Mask DLC, and we're getting them all in this set. And I'm sure we'll continue to see these Pokemon into future sets because there's always a lot of overlap. It's never a direct one-to-one with the games, but I am assuming that whatever the next set is going to be, we're going to start seeing more Pokemon and characters from the Indigo Disc half of the DLC. In fact, we already have a couple of set rumors out right now. Most of them are actually pretty credible because they're based on the trademarks that are being submitted by the Pokemon Company in Japan. The next Japanese set that we're expecting is going to be called Stellar Miracle. We can only assume that this has to do with the stellar typing of the Terapagos Pokemon that was revealed in the Indigo Disc, followed by Paradise Dragona. We do have a couple of new Dragon-type Pokemon that were revealed in Indigo Disc. And then much later this year, Super Electric Breaker is supposed to come out, which is apparently going to be a Stellar-type Pikachu set. After that, we really don't know where Pokemon TCG is going because we haven't gotten that far in the game. So all we do know is that Pokemon Legends ZA is going to be coming out eventually. Possibly bringing back Mega types would be absolutely insane. Time will tell what the future of the TCG is beyond these next 3 rumored sets. But I do think it's pretty safe to say with the new sets coming out, Stellar Miracle, having the word Stellar in it, introducing the Pokemon that gave us the stellar typing Terapagos right there. Pretty safe to say that that set's going to be based around Terapagos. And then with Paradise Dragona being right there on the back end of it, I mean, we got a couple of new Pokemon in Indigo Disc, and some of the ones that Pokemon has been featuring the most have been the Hydrapple and the Archaludon, which are both dragon types, so I think it's safe to say that we'll be seeing them in those sets as well. And as far as some of the trainers that we should be seeing, here's just some of the characters that I expect to see in some of the new sets based on the Indigo Disc DLC. On the left here, we have Serrano, who is the director of the Blueberry Academy, which is the school that you end up in Indigo Disc if you haven't gotten that far in the DLC. Then we have Briar, who's one of the teachers at Blueberry Academy, who also has a much bigger role in terms of revealing the stellar typing and the Terapagos Pokemon. Then we have our Elite Four trainers from Blueberry Academy, starting with Lacey, who specializes in Fairy type. Then we have Crispin, who specializes in Fire type, Drayton, the Dragon type trainer, and Amorous, the Steel type trainer. And although we have seen Kieran already get printed alongside his sister Carmine in Twilight Masquerade, I like to jokingly call that Kieran the pre-villain era version of Kieran. You could see that's Kieran with his hair down. You guys can see right here, this is Kieran with his hair up, possibly under the influence of a Pecharunt. And this is how we encountered him all throughout Indigo Disc, as he ultimately became the final champion that you have to defeat after the Elite Four. I definitely hope/expect to see a lot of these trainers in these upcoming sets. And I'm sure Pokemon Company will end up mixing in a lot of older characters as well. They've been doing that a lot lately. But something I really feel like is missing from this era, and maybe we'll get it in the second half, is I would love to see a Friends in Paldea or a Friends in Kitakami or even like a Friends at Blueberry Academy. I don't know, that would be too long to fit on a card, but honestly, like I just feel like it would be awesome to see more cards like this. It really sort of brings the whole story together and gives you like a snapshot in memory of kind of the adventure. I really loved Friends in Galar from Silver Tempest and Friends in Hisui and Friends in Sinnoh from Crown Zenith. Those are the final sets. So maybe it's just a matter of time as we get further into the Scarlet and Violet era, whether or not we end up seeing a card like this, but I really love them and I hope they continue this trend. And this is the part of the video where I let you guys know that there's probably going to be a part 4, and I would really appreciate it if you guys smash that like button if you enjoyed the video. It's a brand new series, so please feel free to subscribe if you want more content like this. I already placed my pre-orders for Night Wanderer, so we'll definitely be opening that up here on the channel as well as plenty of Twilight Masquerade. I actually haven't opened much of this at all, so we're going to get into that later this week. But otherwise, I'll see you in the next episode of Unpacked, and as always, happy haunting, Fang Gang. Peace.